What is going on? Run It Back Nation, Sixers Nation, Sixers sickos. What is happening? The Sixers take out the Sacramento Kings on an absolute blowout. Not close at all. Was never close. They went up 20 and they basically stayed up 20. Without Joel Embiid. Without Kelly Oubre. Tobias Harris has almost a career night. 37 points for Tobias Harris against the Sacramento Kings. We're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about everything that went down in the game. This is brought to you by HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/runitbackfree to get free breakfast for life from HelloFresh using the promo code RunItBackFree at checkout. One breakfast item per order while subscription is active. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring the show. Join us on the Discord. We're taking live callers on the Discord. It's very simple. You get the app on your phone or your PC or whatever you want to do. You just click the link that's pinned right at the top of the chat there. That is the Discord. And you're going to click on Call In Waiting Room. And that's all. I can just click on your name then and put you live on the show. So that's how we're doing call-ins if you do want to call the show. Other than that, the best way to get your comments on the screen is to super chat or be a member of the channel. 127 people in here right now. Thanks for being here. Before we get into it, do me one last favor. Close out the chat and hit the like button for me. That's how you get this stream pushed through the algorithm. Then we get more people in here. So close out the chat and hit the like button. Yeah! That's where we're at with it, man. So the Sixers go into this game. The Sacramento Kings are 23-15. They are the 5th seed in the West. They were playing without Kevin Huerter. I think that's the only guy they had out. The Sixers play without Joel Embiid. And going into the game, we're thinking we're going to get smoked because the Sixers can't rebound. The Sixers have had trouble recently with their perimeter defense. The Sixers have had trouble recently with a lot of things. A lot of things have been going wrong lately. So we're thinking Domantas Sabonis is about to have a field day and is about to have 57 rebounds, and De'Aaron Fox is going to go off from the perimeter, and we're going to look like we've continued to look without Joel Embiid, which is very mid. The Sixers have looked like almost a damn lottery team without Joel Embiid this season. The backup center position has been an issue. There's been a lot of issues. But they go into this game and they get it done without Joel Embiid, without Kelly Oubre. And as, you know, I say this a lot. It's a theme that I run with because it's true. It's such a make or miss league, man. It's such a make or miss league. And I said this in the playback stream. Shout out to everybody that was in the playback stream watching it with me. The Sixers supporting cast is really, you know, they're all like 35 and older, basically. So it's like night and day when these guys have played 3 games in 5 days, a back-to-back, a day off, a game, a day off, a back-to-back, a traveling back-to-back. When these guys are tired, they show it and they get destroyed. When they don't have their legs, they shoot 20% from 3. They get burned off the perimeter. They can't guard the rim. So the Sixers get a little bit of rest, and look how much different everything looks. They get a little bit of rest, and suddenly these guys have their legs. The shots going in. They're making threes. And when the ball's going in, everything's different, and all of your deficiencies, all of your issues kind of go by the wayside. Everything looks so much better when you're making shots. That's just all there is to it. And we've gone through these ups and downs now this season where the Sixers they'll go on a little bit of a run where the supporting cast is contributing, and the fan base will be on this, oh my God, look how deep this team is. This is the deepest team we've had since this, and that. And then we go on these stretches where we shoot 20% from 3, And it's this team is not deep at all, and we need serious help. Now, there's definitely some things that I want to do at the trade deadline. There's some things that I think Daryl Morey's going to do at the trade deadline. And after we talk about this game, we'll get into some of the things that came out, some of the little reports and rumors that came out on Twitter and things like that. Also, we'll go down the Twitter timeline and check all that out too. But, the shots were falling, and it's just a different game when these guys are rested, have their legs, and are making shots. The Sacramento Kings on the other side of the ball looked like they've played 3 games back-to-back-to-back. I looked at their schedule. This was not a back-to-back. They had a day of rest in between Tuesday and Wednesday where they played the Pistons and the Hornets. They blew out the Pistons and the Hornets. Day of rest. They came out here. They did not look good from start to finish. So that, we're going to commend the Sixers perimeter defense here. We're going to commend the effort overall. We're going to commend Mo Bamba guarding the rim, Paul Reed guarding the rim, Tobias Harris playing defense. Everybody, it was a team effort. The level of effort and intensity throughout the whole team was impressive. You went through a couple of games where the effort was looking, not there. And Nick Nurse said, I won't go for that effort. Even when we were depleted and we were playing without 4 players, Nick Nurse said, I don't care about the injuries. I'm not accepting that effort. And he said, we're going to have a training camp style of practice. And I want to say, there's M33. He's going to distract me the whole stream again, so we'll go ahead and hide him on the stream because he just says dumb shit the whole time and trolls the chat. See you later. Have a good night. I will say that after Nick Nurse said, we're going to have a training camp style of practice and I don't accept this level of effort, I feel like not only have the Sixers played with more effort, not only have they played more physical and more intense and attacked the rim stronger with more purpose, Tobias Harris specifically has been playing physical, with confidence, and with purpose. And I don't know what they did in that practice. I don't know what they did this week with these practices, but Tobias Harris has benefited from it probably more than anybody. Carlos Rosado, my guy, thanks for the super chat. Sit Embiid longer. Toby's got it. LOL. They were trying to get him that 40 by any means necessary. He was chucking threes like he was Steph. Yeah, look, Tobias Harris from start to finish, just intense effort and level of confidence. You know what I'm saying? It's such a mind game, and just a lot of times Tobias Harris kind of shrinks mentally. You got all the tools. You got the size. You got the athleticism. You got the shooting ability. You have all the tools. It's just you're either going to get the very confident Tobias Harris that's locked in and really knows that he's an assassin scorer, air quotes. And then some games you just get this mentally weak guy that can't handle defensive pressure and just completely clamps up and folds and quits on the court. We do have to point out the fact that the Sacramento Kings are quite bad defensively. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And when you watch them play, especially against, the Sixers in this game, you see a lot of lack of size and athleticism on the defensive end for the Sacramento Kings, and that was part of what Tobias Harris took advantage of. He really took advantage of mismatches. He took advantage of size differences. He got, De'Aaron Fox in the post. He got Malik Monk in the post. Whoever it was, Mouse in the house, they were really targeting smaller players for him to get things going. I also want to point out the fact that it seemed like the Sacramento Kings strategy in this game was to double Tyrese Maxey, take him out of the game, make somebody else beat you. And when Tobias Harris clearly was the guy that was beating you, they didn't really change their strategy at all. They continued to double Tyrese Maxey and leave Tobias one-on-one. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I got to commend Tobias, man. I think he had 4 dunks in the game. I think he had 4 dunks. I think Tobias Harris dunked the basketball with 2 hands 4 times. And the people that come at me about my Tobias takes, they miss the point on what I'm really saying. He plays the game so weak-minded, so much. He goes to the rim and does these soft little floater layups all the time at 6'8". And then you see him in this game, and he's driving the lane, and he's going up with two hands straight to the rim and dunking the ball with two hands through the defense. A poster in the first quarter, a Tobias Harris poster. Who would have thought they saw it? There was kids in the crowd doing the poster celebration. In this Nick Nurse training camp style practice, did they take Tobias Harris in a film room and show him and say, look, Tobias, look at this layup right here. Look how weak that layup is. You are 6'8". You're telling me you can't go up and dunk that ball right there? Is that what they did? And then they took him on the court with some big pads and ran drills and made him finish through contact? I mean, he's 31 years old. You shouldn't have to do this, but maybe that's what they did. Because he looks like a different player right now. He looks like, here's the thing. He looks like he looked in the beginning of the season when we were saying Nick Nurse unlocked Tobias Harris. Then he folded, right? Disappeared for a while. Then he had a couple good games again. Everybody, look, Tobias is back. You're a hater. Then he folded again. Then he comes back right now, a couple back-to-back 30-point games, 37 tonight. And you know what? I don't want to be negative on Tobias Harris after this game because it was a great game. But tell me that Tobias Harris, never in his career having a 40-point game, having 37 in the end of this game with 5 minutes left, the Sacramento Kings put their deep bench in. The Sixers, Nick Nurse leaves Tobias Harris out there to try to get him 40. The whole Sixers team is trying to get him the ball. They're running specific plays, bringing him off of double screens to try to get him a shot to get 40. And he goes ice cold. And he goes 0 for 4, and he just can't hit the shot to get 40. Come on, Tobias. Is that the most Tobias Harris 37-point performance of all time? You couldn't just get a couple layups against the Sacramento Kings deep bench to score 40. The crowd was chanting, Toby, Toby. Are you kidding me? It was a little bit embarrassing. The end of the game, trying to force you to score 40 points. The crowd's chanting Toby like you're I don't want to say it, like you're Rudy in a sports movie, like it's a sports movie and it's like the Tobias Harris is the underdog that nobody ever believed in, and the starter broke his leg and he has to come in the fourth quarter of the championship game and the score is tied. Then he hits a big shot and the crowd starts chanting Toby, Toby. And he shoots it and the ball's going in slow motion and the buzzer goes off and the crowd goes everything stops and dong, it bangs off the back of the Toby, Toby. How were you at a Sixers game and you were chanting Toby at the end for him to get 40 points and you didn't feel stupid? I was going to compare it to something else, but it was very mean, and I would probably get in trouble for it on YouTube. Carlos Rosado, please show that Maxey layup when you get a chance. Shout out to Carlos. Thanks for supporting the channel. Maxey had some nice takes to the rim, finishing through contact. Not getting any calls, by the way. Not getting any calls whatsoever. No calls for Tyrese Maxey. Driving hard, going right into the defenders. Bang, 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 bang. No love from the officials, but in the second half, he started finishing those takes. And yeah, the left hand lay to finish on the right was crazy. He had another hang time layup. He had a couple just really nice buckets, really playing strong, really finishing through contact. And that's what you got to do. If they're not giving you the calls, you got to put the ball in the hoop, you know? And sadly, in today's NBA, somebody pointed out in the playback chat, if you don't flop, you don't get calls. Like, it's not in Tyrese Maxey's DNA to flop. The referees are so conditioned now to call fouls off of flop. They think if you don't flop, you didn't get fouled. Their anti-flopping rule is not working at all. It's just, Maxey maybe needs to learn how to sell calls a little bit better. Sadly, it's sad that we've come to that point, but it's not in his DNA to flop. But yeah, Maxey did his thing, man. We're going to talk about some other guys. We're going to talk about Mo Bamba. We're going to talk about Paul Reed. We're going to talk about Patrick Beverley. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to go to the Discord here. We got two people waiting in the Discord. We got my man Shane is on the line. Shane in the Discord. Shane, you can unmute your mic there, my guy. Shane.
Yeah, DJ.
What's going on, Shane?
How you doing, DJ? I'm doing great.
I'm doing fantastic, Shane. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm just excited. The Sixers win like they should have. They should have won this game.
Absolutely.
Like if they would have lost this game, I would have been like, "What the frauds?" And they can't apparently went out on a beat.
Yeah, the Sacramento Kings aren't like, one of the worst teams or anything. It was a nice win. I thought, the way that they blew them out, I thought it was really impressive, because when playing without Embiid, I always say a win is a win. Just get the win however you can do it. So this was probably the best win I've seen them have without Joel.
Yeah, probably the best. It's like Jokic. It's impressive with Jokic. Everybody talks about how Embiid is a fraud, but it's impressive with Jokic because the man doesn't even care about basketball, and he's still putting up like 30, 40 points a game. All he cares about is his horses in Serbia, and he's still putting up. Jokic is still putting up good numbers, and it's like that's impressive in my opinion. It's like, Embiid's story is impressive, but what Jokic is doing is just impressive. And I mentioned Jokic because I'm literally watching the Nuggets up by 12 or whatever?
Yeah.
Up on New Orleans, and it's just Jokic is still playing well, and they have Jamal Murray and all that.
Shane. We're not here to talk about Nikola Jokic, man. Get Nikola Jokic out of here. We don't care about no damn Nikola Jokic, Shane. Now come on, bro. What do you want to talk about?
It's an impressive win, and it's like I talk about Nikola Jokic because it's like I get tired of Embiid being injured. It's like Nikola Jokic is healthy, and it's frustrating to not have Embiid healthy in the postseason. And it's getting to a point where it's like, well, okay, he ain't healthy in the postseason. Okay, well, it's getting to a point where I'm thinking about just trading Embiid because it's like, well, I'm tired of having the same rodeo every year. He gets hurt in the first or second round, and then we are basically cooked because Doc Rivers or whoever the coach was had no idea what he was doing. But this year may be different because you have Nick Nurse who knows what he's doing.
Shane, our only choice here. You're absolutely right, but our only choice here is to have blind faith. There's nothing else we can do. We have to just believe maybe it's going to be different, or else we might as well not even watch it. You know what I'm saying? If we're just going to sit here and be like, he's going to be hurt again and we're screwed, which very well could happen. If it happens, Sixers fans will be like, we saw this one coming. There's probably betting odds against him staying healthy, but we gotta just have blind faith, I guess. We gotta just hope it doesn't happen, man. We gotta just hope it doesn't happen.
DeJounte Murray would be a good trade piece. But I wanted to mention to you, DJ, an underrated trade piece from Golden State that not many people, I haven't seen many Sixers fans say they want him from Golden State.
All right, what you got? Underrated trade piece. Here we go.
Jonathan Kuminga. And before people say, oh, he's trash. No, he's a big body. He's a power forward, someone that you kind of need, and he's young. He's young that Nick Nurse can bring in here, develop him still. And Jonathan Kuminga, I really like his game and his body. I really do like Kuminga. And the Warriors said everybody's on the block except for Curry. Go get Kuminga on the Sixers. I would love that. And then you get DeJounte Murray. That's a perfect trade deadline right there. And then you get rid of Tobias Harris. I think that's a win-win scenario for everybody.
Yeah, listen, I'm all for a backup center. I'm all for a secondary ball handler. I think those are the two things that Daryl Morey's looking for also. Kuminga, I don't know, the Warriors are pretty high on him. The asking price might be higher than what he's worth, but I wouldn't hate it, Shane. You got anything else on tonight's game you want to talk about?
Maxey, and then Tobias Harris I want to talk about after this Maxey pick. So Maxey, I feel like he started off hot. He was doing good, and then I feel like he cooled off a little bit after that first bucket he made in like the second half. I feel like he cooled off a little bit after that.
Absolutely, he did. He did. Oh, he was just trying to get the ball to Tobias. I mean, Tobias was cooking. You know what I mean? Maxey. It's one thing Maxey definitely does. He turns into that, like, you know, that point guard where he's like, I'm gonna get my guy the ball now. You know, my guy's going off. So, you know, he definitely tries.
Yeah.
He tries not to take like ill-advised shots like DeAnthony Melton does whenever he touches the ball. But yeah, that's what he does, man. I thought the game from Maxey was good.
Yeah, my take on Tobias Harris is I'm not believing this bullcrap. I mean, cool. You had 20 points last.
This is what
25
Shane.
points
Hold on, Shane. This is what I wanted to hear from you. This is why you called the show. Now give it to me. Let's go.
I don't care that Tobias Harris had like 25 points last game and then 37 tonight. I don't care. He's not physical enough. Tobias Harris sucks, and it is the truth. He's slow. He's weak. He has a scaredy cat mindset. And I've seen this so many times in the playoffs. He disappears in the playoffs. Congratulations. You score high points in the regular season. I don't care. You know what, Tobias? If you last pass the trade deadline, I want to see this in the playoffs. I want to see this in the second round against good teams. In the third, and if we make it to the third round, I want you to do the same thing in the third round. Prove it to me that you won't disappear like a freaking shadow, like a ghost in the playoffs. And then I'll say you're a good player. Other than that, you suck. I don't like Tobias Harris. I don't get why there's Tobias Harris fanboys. He's probably getting on me saying I have a bad take right now on him. I don't care. He is not doing enough. He is not Aaron Gordon. He is not any Michael Porter Jr. He's not somebody that can be reliable.
Shane,
He's just a guy to put.
Shane, you're sounding like a Nuggets. You're sounding like a Nuggets fan out here. No, I like what you're saying because you're serious about it. So you think Tobias Harris this 37 is just because it was the Sacramento Kings. And we can't rely on him to do that when it matters.
Yes, and he's not Michael Porter Jr. and he's not Aaron Gordon. He's not a Tyler Baron-Campbell from Orlando. He's not one of those wings that you can use in the playoffs. Just a guy in general that you can rely on. He's not reliable. He's just inconsistent poster, and he's not Porter Jr. where you can get blocks. He's not Gordon where you can say, oh, he'll get points all the time. No,
I feel you, Shane. I feel you, man. We'll see. We'll see if he reverts back to what he was, man. I got to keep the show going, Shane. I love you, man. Thanks for calling the show, and call back next time, my guy.
Yeah. See you later.
Shane, everybody, 15-year-old, very passionate against Tobias Harris, Sixers fan. Shout out to Shane. Gotta love him. One more caller on the Discord right here. AJ Analysis. AJ Analysis. You can unmute your mic, man. You're on the show.
Yo,
hey, what's going on?
All right, so I have to get something off my chest right now. So I think Tobias Harris, he had a great game, and Tobias Harris is a great player. But let's trade him at the trade deadline for a crumble cookie.
We got to trade him right now. His value is at its peak right now. We have
maybe trade him after this game. Like a nice little game right here, and then maybe we trade him after this game.
Daryl's got to trade him at midnight, bro. Because here's what happens: if you let Tobias Harris go too long, he will have that 5-point game against a big-time opponent that shows the rest of the NBA, again, what he's capable of on the negative side. You got to sell him high. Everybody right now, M33, before I muted him in here because all he does is trolls, but he said, Sixers fans, blah, blah, blah. I told you about Toby. This is what he can do. This is what the rest of the NBA thinks. So you got to let them think that. You got to take advantage of it as soon as possible.
The rest of the NBA does not watch the Sixers. They pay attention on their own team. So I think Tobias Harris right now, he's at his highest value. We should trade him. Another thing I wanted to talk about, though, is Mo Bamba, whenever he gets the minutes, I'm not going to lie, he actually doesn't look that bad when he's playing out there. He's not a great defender, but offensively, he's not that bad.
Yeah, Mo Bamba looked good in this game, man. He had some blocks. He had a 3 from the top of the key. He had a couple of offensive rebounds. He had an almost poster dunk, which would have been a highlight. Missed the dunk, and then the referees they challenged it and they called it an offensive foul. So you know how I feel about NBA officials these days. But yeah, Mo Bamba had a good game, man. I don't know if it's just because the Kings are that bad defensively, because Mo Bamba has looked very bad in games prior. So I'm gonna hold my I'm gonna hold my opinion on Mo Bamba. What else you got, man?
And also, who do you think is a good like backup player like for the bench? Because I think we're still missing some of that bench scoring. Like bench is very inconsistent as usual for the last like 20 years.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna put you off, and I'm gonna answer your question. Thanks for calling the show, man. I appreciate it. AJ Analysis, everybody, shout out to him. I'll tell you who it is, man. It's Bojan Bogdanovic. The trade is quite obvious. It's DeJounte Murray and Bojan Bogdanovic. That's the trade. You get your backup, your secondary ball handler on the floor. You take advantage of Tyrese Maxey in more of his natural position. You can stagger, you can switch off, you can play Pat Bev a little bit less minutes and just use him sparingly. And then you got a shooter off the bench. That's what it is. Anybody else? The Discord link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to call the show, shout out to the callers so far. Anybody, over the age of 20 or something that wants to call in. But shout out to the Young Bucks, man. Shout out to the Young Bucks talking ball. I love to see it. I love to see the youth understand the game and watch the game and know what they're talking about. Makes me proud. Okay. Stats, man. Stats. Let's check it out. Let's go through it and let's discuss it because there's a couple things I want to talk about. Mo Bamba having a good game. I think you just have to... Where's my viewer count? It's driving me nuts. It's not up there. There it is. 277 in here. Give me 277 likes on the stream. Close out the chat one time and hit the like button. Listen, hey, man, shout out to A for being a member of the channel. Hey, man, it's a Friday night. The kids don't have a bedtime, bro. We got all the young bucks because they don't have a bedtime. It's Friday night, man. They're out here living their best life. They're living their best life on a Friday. 112 to 93. Let's go to Mo Bamba real quick, okay? I think we got to hold our opinions on Mo Bamba, okay? He had 11 points in the game. In 20 minutes, he had 4 blocks. He had more blocks than rebounds. Let's see the full stats here. Here we go. All right, Mo Bamba, 11 points, 4 blocks, 3 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds, was a +9. I love the game that he played, but yeah, I can't just go off of one game and say that Mo Bamba is a solid backup center and we don't need to get another backup center because Mo Bamba's the guy. I can't do that. Antoine Williams, thanks for subscribing to the channel. I need to just kind of pump the brakes a little bit because I've seen how bad Paul Reed and Mo Bamba have looked against better, bigger, more physical defensive teams. They looked good tonight against the Sacramento Kings. But that's just what I can't really form an opinion or say, too much about it against this team. I think they played a great game, but I can't say that like these are the guys and we shouldn't make a move. Paul Reed had 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, was a +9. Great game from Paul Reed. Didn't do too much. Paul Reed didn't do too much. He wasn't out there in crunch time trying to do a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook or anything crazy like that. He shot the ball when he was open. First quarter, he shot one from the left wing for 3. I don't think he made that one, but I like him shooting that shot. He hit a mid-range jumper there in the first quarter. I thought Paul Reed played a great game. I thought he was controlled. I thought he played within his own skill set and didn't try to do too much and didn't get too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Nicholas Batum, after not so hot of a shooting night the other night, was 4 for 4 in this game from 3. He had 6 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, 3 assists, and a +2. And Nicholas Batum, getting back to what he does, just playing that stretch 4 position, being that guy that's not the centerpiece, but just a great role player, great high basketball IQ, moves the ball, gets the ball to the scorers, and when he's open, he shoots it, and he shoots it at a high percentage. I love Nicholas Batum, man. What can you say? Man? Maxey was 6 for 17. I didn't realize his shooting percentage was that bad in this game. Had a lot of takes where he felt like he got fouled. He wasn't getting the calls. The NBA still doesn't respect Tyrese Maxey. He was a plus 17, however, so we'll take that. I thought he had spurts, where he kind of took over the game and, gave us a scoring punch when we really needed it. The Kings, starting out the third quarter specifically, actually, the Kings started the third quarter, 4 straight points, cut the lead to 16 or 17. We were up 20, 21 at halftime. What was it? They cut the lead down, and Maxey made a little bit of a run by himself there. He got an and one. Tobias Harris in the beginning of the third, and then he kind of disappeared. Then he came alive again in the fourth and just couldn't close it out with 37. Couldn't give himself the 40 piece. But, overall, really, really good team win from the Sixers without Joel Embiid, without Kelly Oubre, who had a sore toe. I don't know if he was on a mountain bike again or he stubbed his toe on his coffee table in his living room. I don't know what happened. But a great win for the Sixers, and I was honestly not very impressed with the Sacramento Kings, to be totally honest with you. We'll go over to the team stats and check that out, and we'll keep it going. Let's go. Team stats. Boom. Shout out to everybody in the chat. 306 people in here. Best way to get your comment on the screen is a super chat or be a member of the channel. And if you want to call the show, the Discord link is pinned at the top of the chat. Call the show. Give me your thoughts. All right? What's going on in the chat here, man? We got to start thinking an NBA team. Would think we need to stop. We got to start thinking like an NBA team would think. Okay, and reading is not my thing right now. We need to stop Tatum. We'll be looking for a perimeter, big, long defender who all I see is Markkanen and Grant out there. Well, Markkanen is untouchable. Not untouchable. Danny Ainge basically spilled the beans today, told all the reporters, listen, Markkanen is not untouchable, but to get him, you're going to have to give us one of your untouchables. So Markkanen is untouchable. I knew it. Danny Ainge is not trading Lauri Markkanen for anything less than 7 first-round picks. It's not happening. The Sixers don't have enough to get him. It is what it is. Grant? Are you talking about Jeremy Grant? Okay. I'm not totally against that. He has a long contract. He's a 5-year extension that just started, so you'd be paying him for 4 years. But it's not like a Zach LaVine contract or anything. One player that I think you're forgetting, a power forward who's known for his perimeter defense and his catch and shoot ability, Dorian Finney-Smith. I think that's another good option there at backup center or backup power forward or whatever you want to call it at the trade deadline. Team stats tonight from the Sixers versus the Kings. Let's look at it. The Kings shot 33.7% from the field. Gross. Holy hell. How did they pull that off? Shout out to the Sixers for their defensive effort tonight, flying out to the three-point line, rotating, and just not catching themselves on their back foot, not catching themselves falling asleep on the rotations and leaving guys wide open. I do think the Kings missed a lot of wide open shots. They were just kind of rimming out and bricking a lot of them. There were some air balls. There was a Keegan Murray pull-up 3 in the third quarter that he just straight up airballed. But I do think the Sixers were playing a more intense defense in this game and overall higher effort, and that's shout out to Nick Nurse, man. Like he said, I'm not going to accept that effort. And who just said that in the chat? Shout out to nice to have a real coach. Day Comics. Nice to have an actual coach, exactly. Nick Nurse. With Doc Rivers, we would go down this path and it would continue this way. Nick Nurse said, we're not doing this. We're not playing like this. You're not going to give me that lack of effort and get away with it, So they go into this training camp style practice and they get to work, and this is what you get, man. And I'm just as happy as you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm just as happy as you are to have a coach with some goddamn balls that can stand up in front of superstar, overpaid millionaire NBA players and say, hey, you guys played like a bunch of bitches tonight. And I'm not having it. Now we're going to run suicides. And now we're going to do defensive rotation drills for the next 3 days until you get it and understand it. You know? NBA players are divas a lot, man. A lot. If you don't stay on them, they're already living lavish lifestyles, bro. Dudes might be lazy out there. They might not be that motivated, man. Stay on them. Now, did Tobias Harris have this game because Nick Nurse got on his ass in practice and told him he's playing like a little bitch? Or is it trade value, Toby? Was Daryl Morey like, listen, bro, you're getting traded. If you want to go to the team that you want to go to, you're going to have some trade value. So go out there and play hard. And look, the last 2 games, a 33 last game and a 37 this game. And then they left him out there against the Kings' deep bench, and the whole crowd was chanting, Toby, Toby, like a Make-A-Wish kid, which was embarrassing. And he couldn't score 40. He went 0 for 4. He choked. He even choked himself out of a career high. But 37 was nice. Now Daryl Morey's got to trade him at midnight. Sell high. This is like Dogecoin, motherfucker. Sell it now because it shit's about to crash. Any moment. Tobias Harris is Dogecoin. Sell it high because it's going to crash epically. Trade him. Toby, trade him. That's what they should have been saying. We got Chef Savvy on the Discord. Chef Savvy, you can unmute your mic, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, what's going on? I was looking at the game and everything. I was just thinking that Tobias Harris, the only reason why he was playing good was, I think, the staff and everybody, the coaches, was just on him. Like, you've been playing weak. You've been playing, you ain't been the person that you've been saying you was in the beginning of the season. So they really just been on him trying to,
keeping it real with him.
Play good.
Keeping it a buck with him, right?
Like,
How nice would it have been to have a staff like that with Ben Simmons? You know what I mean? 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years and nobody would say that to this dude's face. Yo, what are you doing, bro? Shoot the fucking ball. What are you doing?
That's a sad story, man. I think back to that and I look at it like, to be honest, I look like a weirdo because back then I used to support him. And then for him to do that to the city is like, nah, you can't be doing that type of stuff. Nah, I had to play off him, man.
First couple of years I was supporting too. But yeah, back to Tobias. So you think it was just the coaching staff was keeping it real with him and saying, hey, man, look, you're going up to the rim weak, bro. What are you doing? You're 6'8", 250, 235. Dunk the damn ball, and all of a sudden he has 4 dunks in this game?
Yeah, like I like what he was doing today, but one of my things is I'm one of the rare guys, and I was talking to you earlier on the chat. I had just joined this John today, but
thanks for joining, bro.
No problem, man. I've been watching you for a while. I've just been ghost on it, so I had to finally join the Discord and everything. But one of the things, man, I wanted to say is I'm one of the rare people. I think we should just go for Zach LaVine, like blow it up. I don't know why. It's just like that's the only way I think we're gonna get a championship. I can see it.
You think we should go for Zach LaVine?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he really wants to play for Chicago. He puts in so much work. Like back in the years, it's like you don't want to keep doing the same thing with Chicago. I think and it been rumors like years ago, like 2 years or last year, that he'd been wanting to come to the Sixers. Or rumors about it. So maybe he does put in work for the Sixers, especially when Embiid's out. He's a good ball handler. I think it could work out.
I don't hate Zach LaVine's game. It's the contract that everybody wants to stay away from. You know what I mean? It's just,
I said, yeah, that's the only thing too. But you know what I'm saying? I'm a risk taker. Like whatever, you know what I'm saying? I heard you say before to somebody, you know what I mean? You said, oh, whatever, it's not our money, it's Josh Harris's. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say that to you too.
So Daryl Morey's a risk taker too. You know, that's the thing too. Like a lot of these fans talk about like going for cap space or not giving up first round picks. And I'm like, you're not messing with a conservative GM, bro. This guy over the course of his career pulls the trigger.
We seen that. Yeah, he definitely does. He's crazy.
He does. Hey man, thanks for calling the show. You got anything else for me, bro?
Oh, no, that's it, man. Have a good day, man. I'm going to keep tuning in.
Chef Savvy, you from Philly?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Philly, man. Shout out to Chef Savvy. Thanks for calling the show. Yeah. Good callers. See, that's why we're using the Discord, bro, so we don't get the random dude in Antarctica with a bad signal that's not saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people on the Discord. I love it, and I want to grow the Discord community so we can continue to have good callers that contribute to the show and keep it moving. You feel me? So join the Discord, man. Link is at the top of the chat. We were in there today talking about trades and all kinds of things. Join the chat. It never ends. It's 24/7 chat, bro. Never ends. Join the Discord. Put whatever you want in there. The Kings shot 33% from the field, 21% from three. They were 8 for 38 from three-point range. Offensive rebounds, they had 23 offensive rebounds. We could have predicted that. The Sixers team is still not a great rebounding team. The Sacramento Kings are a good rebounding team, and Domantas Sabonis probably had a majority of them, but 23 offensive rebounds for the Kings. We didn't get out-rebounded by a million, though. You know, for it to be us without Joel Embiid and it to be Mo Bamba and Paul Reed out there, we didn't get out-rebounded by a million. We got out-rebounded 54-46. You know, out-rebounded by 8 rebounds is not too bad. They survived the rebound battle. We had 11 steals to their 6, 9 blocks to their 4. Again, I want to pump the brakes on Mo Bamba and Paul Reed because the Kings aren't a great defensive team, but they looked great in this game. And I hope that this at least instilled confidence in them moving forward, and maybe you can get more out of them moving forward. Maybe you can rely a little bit more on them moving forward. We got a Daryl Morey tweet. The dude says, DJ the Morey tweet. Okay, what's going on here? Daryl Morey. What did Daryl Morey tweet? Is it some Tobias Harris defense? Here we go. You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! BasketballNews.com tweets, Tobias Harris steps up big time in Embiid's absence. They should have added there for the first time in 8 years. Listen, that's a great photo of Tobias Harris right there. I should have put that on the thumbnail. Very high quality photo. You know what? Let me go ahead and save this image here. That's a good photo. I'll take that. Thank you for the photo. Tobias Harris steps up big time in Embiid's absence. 37 points, 14 of 25, 7 rebounds, 3 steals. And Daryl Morey tweets the cookie emojis. Listen, I commend Daryl Morey's social media activity. I think it's funny too, but I hate the narrative that Sixers fans randomly hated Tobias Harris. And, you know, Tobias said the thing like, they'll trade me for a crumble cookie. And then Daryl Morey, okay, you're going to back up your players. I'm not saying Daryl Morey's going to agree with us and be like, yeah, Tobias is mostly like trash most of the time and sometimes played. He's not going to, obviously going to back up your players. So I expect him to do that. But the narrative that we randomly hate Tobias Harris for no reason is just ridiculous. It's the same thing they did with Ben Simmons. We didn't just pick him out of a lineup and decide to talk shit. You played like shit a lot over the course of your tenure here on a max contract that, you know, you signed to not play like shit. And that's why the hate comes from the fan base. Why wouldn't we talk shit on anybody else? Why don't we talk shit on Tyrese Maxey? Why don't we talk shit on Joel Embiid? Well, we kind of do because he's injured all the time. Why don't we talk shit on anyone else? Nobody else signed a $180 million contract and suddenly played like Taurean Prince. You're a $180 million Taurean Prince, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Davon, a.k.a. Schoolboy Beats. Shout out to everybody hanging out on a Friday night with me. 296 in the chat. Close out the chat one time. Give me 296 likes. That would be greatly appreciated. We're going to hang out for a little bit longer here and chop it up with you guys. Clippers might as well let us buy out Bones Highland. Are they not playing him? Bones Highland's an interesting one, man. Kind of similar. Has like Lou Williams similarities, right? Offensively, like you think he's that spark off the bench. He's that sixth man that can come in and, you know, but there's a reason, like, there's got to be a reason teams don't really care for him that much, you know? Now it's the Denver Nuggets that traded him high, by the way, sold him high, right? They were like, hey, everybody around the league thinks Bones Highland is great. Let's trade him. And now the Clippers, what, they're not playing him? That tells me something about Bones Highland a little bit. A lot of people talk about guys in the G League on the Sixers squad, the Delaware Bluecoats, like Terquavian Smith. You know, I guess, I don't know if their statures are similar, just off the top of my head, an eye test seems like they are. Terquavian Smith's kind of that kind of guy. a high offensive game, but probably can't really defend anybody in the NBA. And he hasn't been given a chance on the Sixers floor, probably because of that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know about Bones Highland, man. I don't know. But a throw in a trade or something like that, I'm not going to say no to Bones Highland. He's better than Jaden Springer. He's better than Furkan Korkmaz. We definitely have players on the end of our benches that just can't contribute whatsoever. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to have him there at the end of the bench. But I think maybe Bones Highland is a little bit overrated. Russ and Harden dropped him out of the rotation, as they should. This call is too long. Nobody's on the line, bro. What are you talking about? It's just me. Why don't you call the show then? Oh, we got 2 people waiting in the Discord. Let's get to some more Discord callers, man. We got Breezy in here. Breezy, what's going on? You can unmute your mic in the Discord. Breezy.
Yo, what's going on, Eastwood?
What's good?
Yo, so I gotta say, good win by the Sixers tonight, bro. They hustled, they did their thing. After that 3-game losing streak, we all picked up, we all did our thing.
We did it, bro. We talked shit. We bullied. Bullying works.
Yo, for real. I gotta say this, since I'm on this show and I'm on this call, bro. I want every NBA fan to hear that Tobias Harris is an offensive threat. You need him on your team.
Absolutely, bro. He's an assassin scorer.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did they not see the last 2 games my man put up? I mean, his stock's up. The stock is up.
Right. They better be calling the line right now. They better be lined up calling.
Like, in these times, I'm definitely favoring the Atlanta Hawks trade right now with DeJounte Murray. And if we can get Bogdanovich in that, I definitely feel that could set us over the top for a championship.
Yeah, let's just complete this Tobias Harris thing for a second. This is a player that every NBA team needs on the roster. This is a stretch 4. He's an assassin scorer, bro. He can guard 1 through 5.
He can do it all. I don't know what the league He's an all-star caliber player. We posted it on our Instagram page. He's an all-star.
If that doesn't make it a fact, I don't know what does.
Come on.
He can score on all 3 levels. He can post or dunk people. And the Sixers he doesn't fit. That's all. He's just a bad fit. On another team, he's a star.
That's exactly. So I want the Hawks calling the phone right now. I want them to tap in with us and say, look, let's take this man off your hands for you.
Absolutely.
And Daryl's going to say, yo, GG, my guy, here you go. Here's DeJounte.
Let's get it, man. DeJounte Murray and Bojan Bogdanovic. I want both of them. I'll give you all 3 first, though. I'll pull the trigger on it, but you're taking Tobias.
Yo, for sure. That's it, bro.
All right, bro. Thanks for calling the show. What else you got, buddy?
I got to say one more thing, bro. I mess with Patrick Beverley, bro. I really do, bro. His defense is crazy, bro. I watched the pod. But, yo, we definitely need, another scorer off the bench for sure, in the guard position. It's definitely needed.
Yeah. You definitely need a guy in the bench rotation that can kind of just one of those dudes that can create a shot. One of those guys that can do a little bit of something with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, for sure. A plug-and-play player that can just, get offense off rip.
Yeah, even the dude out in the Knicks who I just learned existed a couple of days ago. Mick, that
Mick dude?
McNugget. Yeah. Can we get a McNugget, man? Where's our McNugget?
Yeah, we need that. Yo,
facts.
If anyone got a McNugget, send them the Sixers way right now.
Absolutely. Hey, Breezy, thanks for the call, brother. I appreciate it.
Yo, catch you, bro.
Let's go. The callers are on fire tonight. Shout out to the Discord. We got Jerry HSU on the Discord. Jerry, what's going on, man? You can unmute your mic in the Discord. Jerry. Yo.
Hey, DJ.
Yo, what's going on, man?
I've been listening to your channel since you have 20 hours.
Hell yeah, bro. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being around, man.
No problem. I just want to talk about the trade priority.
Yeah.
I think our first priority is definitely a guard in the backcourt, for sure. Because I think we were burned by Knicks, and
We were.
I think let's face it. I love Tyrese Maxey, but he's not a one of the best ball handler and a creator.
Not one
I
of the
mean,
best. No, not one of the best. He's added it to his game. Definitely, he's better than he was. But yeah, not a definite like 24/7 primary point guard. I'm with you on that.
Right. So I think we need somebody who can create his shot, like the previous caller said. I think it's I'm big on two names. One is Brogdon. I think it's readily available, and we can just get him if he wanted. And he can play the combo guard in replacing what do we have? Melton, or he can coming off the bench be your point guard.
I like Malcolm Brogdon. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think. And another name I'm really excited about is nobody's talking too much about him. Is DeRozan. He is obviously he's a small forward, but he can play your shooting guard because he can create his own shot. He can score for you, and he's on his last year of a contract, and he's not that difficult to. I think we'll say, oh, we want to keep him, but he's 34 years old. I don't know how serious they are about keeping him. So I think he's still also available. I think he's going to be he's a premium player. He's just one of the all-stars, and he still has a lot. I would say 2 to 3 years to offer.
Yeah, the thing
And,
about the only thing about DeRozan with me is that he's not a 3-point shooter, and he scores most of his points in the mid range, and it's tough. It's just tough to have really anybody alongside Embiid that scores most of their points, closer to the paint. I think that's one of the reasons Tobias Harris isn't the best fit next to Joel Embiid. That's the only thing that I don't like about DeRozan. I like him. He's a shot creator. He's very tough. He is one of the best mid-range jumpers I've ever seen. It seems like when he gets hot, he doesn't miss it at all. But he just doesn't stretch the floor enough for me.
What I think that I agree. I mean, he's not the best 3-point shotter. But on the other hand, if you look at when I look at Maxey's game, it is he has amazing speed, and when he's not have to run the point, his 3-point percentage actually get better. But when he has to run and create.
Oh, it's
he
a good
got
point.
tired and he's,
Oh, it's a great point, man. No, it's an absolutely great point, man. Maxey's such a good catch and shoot player. He's good off the dribble too, but yeah, when he has a lot of responsibility, you're right. His shot might be better when he has a player on the floor with him that he can share the responsibility with. I completely agree with you with that, man. Hey, Jerry, thanks for calling the show, man. I'm gonna keep it moving. Stay in the Discord and call the show again. All right.
All right.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've thought that since the early Maxey days. And then, he looked like what he looked like in the beginning of this season. And I went a little bit crazy calling him a superstar point guard and things like that. And I love him. I think he's a star. I think he's an all-star. I think he's the best number 2 that Joel Embiid has had his whole career so far. Even better than James Harden at that stage of James Harden's career. I don't care what anybody says about it. I don't care what the Clippers fans think about it coming at me at this point in the season. But yeah, as the season unfolds, you can see that Tyrese Maxey is still a lethal scorer, and you can probably still get more out of him putting like a facilitator on the floor. That's why they run that Patrick Beverley lineup so much. They did it the entire fourth quarter tonight. Patrick Beverley alongside Tyrese Maxey, and it just brings out the best. I think it just brings out the best. Bryant is on the Discord. What's up, Bryant?
What's good, buddy?
What's going on?
What's going on? Hey, man, I'm just curious. What you think about the Spurs are real bad this year? So, you think there's a chance they might blow it up? Because I was thinking of maybe Jeremy Sokan. That's a guy that I keep looking at. That would be. I think that'd be a really cool pickup. But whoever they get, they need to focus on somebody to defend Tatum in the playoffs. We
Yeah.
got to stop his scoring and match him point for point. And who's the other problem?
Who's
the other guy that always Jaylen Brown,
Derek
something
White?
like that? I mean, what's your thoughts on SoCan though, or the Spurs?
I honestly,
blowing it up?
I think the Spurs already blew it up. You know what I mean? They got to the top of the draft and took Wemby. I just think the Spurs are just gonna have a slow process of developing Wembanyama and trying to slowly build around him with draft picks. You know what I mean? I that's really I can't even honestly comment on the player that you're talking about because I've probably not watched a Spurs game this season at all. To be
Jeremy SoCan, he's kind of like the modern era Dennis Rodman.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. He's number 10.
Yeah, he's always
number
dyeing
10.
his hair and I mean, the kid's got game, man. He shoots that free throw with one hand. He's got potential, but I'd like to see them go after somebody like that.
Do you
somebody just that can stop all this damn scoring on us in the playoffs, really.
Yeah, the Boston Celtics are going to be tough to defend no matter what, man. They got a deep roster and they have a lot of shot creators, you know, and even when you defend Tatum, like, look, Tatum wasn't like a superstar that entire series, dude. He stunk it up for 5 out of 7 games. The guy that killed us was damn Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon. You know, so
real talk. Yeah.
That's the thing with the Celtics, man. If you shut down Tatum, they can still kill you with other guys. It's the difference between them and the Sixers, I think, man. If you shut down Embiid and Maxey, is Tobias going to show up? You know what I'm saying? So
that's the problem. Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it, man. But the Spurs, I think, would be willing to take any draft picks they can get at this point because they're just going to try to get right back to the top of the draft and keep the rebuild going. So, yeah, if you can get a young player like that,
that's the guy nobody's really talking about that could really change the team, though, man. That kid is special.
Yeah, I haven't really watched him much. I know who you're talking about. Is he a little bit more of like a firecracker, like a Paul Reed type, like a guy that's a little bit crazy on the court?
Yeah.
A little unpredictable.
But a lot better inside than Paul Reed, man.
Okay.
That'd be a good one. Send Paul Reed somewhere and take him. It'd be a better B-ball Paul, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, Bryant. Hey, man, I appreciate the call, buddy. Thanks for contributing to the show.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Call back anytime. Shout out to Bryant. Yeah, I wish I, have watched that player that you're talking about more to really give an opinion on him. I really haven't. I know who you're talking about. He does look like a young Dennis Rodman with the hair, at least, but I don't really know much about him. I have not put myself through the agony of watching a Spurs game this season. I check out the Wemby highlights, throwing it off the backboard to himself or whatever other crazy things he's doing at 7'4". But yeah, man, that's where we're at with it. Look, the last thing I wanted to say is there's this rumor now that DeJounte Murray would be open to a trade to the Brooklyn Nets, and the Brooklyn Nets are an ideal spot for him from his side in potential trade negotiations. Makes sense from Murray's camp, given Brooklyn's need for a lead ball handler. He's entering the first year of a 4-year, $114 million contract. It's still a very affordable contract for a player that I think can play at the level that DeJounte Murray plays at. I don't know why he would want to go to Brooklyn. I have no idea. At 26 years old, maybe he thinks I can go be the star in Brooklyn and then I can get a major payday when this contract is up and get like a max contract or something like that. I don't know. If DeJounte Murray agrees to be traded to the Nets, I think that's, do you ever want to win, bro? You know what I mean? You went from the Spurs to the Hawks to the Nets, all for money. The 76ers should be a team that these players are interested in joining because we are that piece away. And I think DeJounte Murray probably knows that. That's my trade, man. I'm on the DeJounte Murray train. I'm on the DeJounte Murray bandwagon, man. I want him in Philly. Who knows if that's going to happen or not, but I want DeJounte Murray in Philly. I was going to do something else, man. What was I going to do? Team stats, Let's look at standings, bro, because, as you get closer to the end of the season, we'll start to look at standings and look at, where the Sixers are in the Eastern Conference and who's really running shit out here and how we think we compete against everybody. The Boston Celtics got absolutely smacked last night. They were down by 30-plus at halftime and didn't put the starters back in the game in the second half against the Milwaukee Bucks. They were on a traveling back-to-back. I think it's so stupid that the NBA continues to do this. It happened to the Sixers this year twice We went out to Minnesota, traveling back-to-back through different time zones, got off of an airplane jet-lagged after playing a game the night before, and tried to play a game against the number one team in the West, and we couldn't shoot the ball, and we got blown out of the building. And now you see it happen to other teams. The Boston Celtics go out to Milwaukee on a traveling back-to-back, and they get ran out of the building on national TV. Now, you got to have more sense than this, NBA. You want your national TV games to be competitive. You schedule them with rested players. What are you doing? How do you schedule a Boston-Milwaukee back-to-back on national TV? Stupid. Absolutely stupid. Boston got ran out of the building there last night. So they're 29-9. Milwaukee 26-12. Sixers are 4.5 out of first place. They are 1.5 out of the 2 seed. If the Sixers keep it up, keep winning like this, who knows, man? Maybe the Sixers can finish with the 2 seed. We get Embiid back. If we make a move at the trade deadline. The trade deadline is going to be interesting because, look, man, all these teams are real close right here, man. Like, you can go from the 2nd seed to the 8th seed, and they are all, there's only 4 games separating the 2nd seed and the 8th seed and the 8th seed right now. 4 games, 5 games. Indiana, Cleveland, New York, Miami, Orlando. Chicago's not a contender. But the East is tight right now, man, and I think the Sixers' goal should definitely be to compete for the number 2 seed. I think their goal should definitely be to compete for the number 2 seed. So 1.5 back in Milwaukee. Shout out to Stacey Clark, gifted 1 membership to the channel. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know you could gift memberships. But thank you. Thank you for gifting a membership. And DFJ Hoops became a sponsor, became a member of the channel. Shout out to DFJ Hoops for becoming a member of the channel. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to everybody that super chats. Shout out to everybody that got on the Discord and called the show. I loved it. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for making the show what it is. And yeah, man, Sixers get a big win. Without Joel Embiid, without Kelly Oubre, everybody stepped up. Tobias Harris played the game of his life and just couldn't break 40. Yeah, man, great win. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for hanging out. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also, don't forget to go there and leave us a review. Hit the like button on this stream right here for me. What else? I'm out of here, man. You guys are the best. And I'll